Hey Libra, welcome to September. Take some deep breaths. The calm in the middle of the storm. The bottom of the deck is the dry desert. You may have been feeling lost, feeling like there was no way out for a long time, or you may be in the middle of a drought, a love drought, and as the rain is coming down, there is a way for that to end. Your strength this month is commitment. And of course, you've been trying to, what it feels like is stay committed to yourself, to finding yourself, to getting clear about what it is that you want. But there is an intimacy piece that's missing, that you're needing, that you're craving. And you may have starved yourself, but not really. It's feeling more like a detoxification. Letting them know that, letting it be known you have been shown and told, and it has been made known to you what intimacy or what connections weren't actually filling you up. They were just there. They were actually draining you and leaving you dry. So you've placed yourself first, but you're now ready to be in relationship again. Your challenge, though, is the moonlight and rescue. And so what I feel like this juxtaposition to needing a relationship to save you or to feel safe or to be comfortable as a little bit of a old pattern or habit versus communion with another and with others and with community. This challenge is about making sense of your emotions and your emotional needs and letting them out. And experiencing pleasure again where you've been dry. So let's take a look. Let the rain of your presence fall on me. Every day that I live, Lord, okay. And I'm pretty sure it's the Thor's back, but I love that song. So if you read that, the lyrics are important. Because you want divine intimacy, you want divine connection. but you also are being called to emanate it as well. I'm excited. Okay. Partnerships formed at this time are harmonious and powerful. The commitment card also indicates the natural evolution of a relationship from its inception to a literal or metaphorical marriage. So this is an energetic commitment and connection. At the very least, there is a promise of fulfillment in some form. However, you must be conscious of what you're committing to. Be clear about the nature of your commitment and your responsibility to it. Others are more willing to enter into partnerships at this time. Remember that your partnership with spirit and the highest version of your own self will engage the highest self in another. And so, let the rain of your presence fall on me. Everywhere that I go, Lord, let your presence flow. Let the rain of your presence fall on me. And then I'm going to fast forward. Love divine, joy unspeakable, overflowing in my soul. This heart of mine. Ooh. This is a vibe. I think this is y'all's like romantic vibe. Y'all's like how people feel when they're loved by you. It's almost intoxicating, but there's something pure about the connection this time around because your spirit is right and your spirit is in a good place and you're also not being drained by others, but you don't know how to let it out. So let's get to the rescue part. This is like how you feel in your spirit and in your emotional body, and you're wanting and seeking and desiring it to share it. But what's up? It's like the woman in the beginning of the Carter's album, on that song about everything is love, and she's like, love of God, love of a partner, love of self, love of the, humanity. Like that's what this feels like. Okay. Are you trying to rescue another person? Do you believe that your love can change someone and miraculously heal this person? Or are you waiting to be rescued? Do you believe that someone will sweep you off your feet and take away all of your troubles? The rescue card cautions you against romanticizing your situation right now. Look closely and see reality as it is rather than the illusion of how you'd like it to be. The need to step back and rescue yourself. You need to step back and rescue yourself. Trust that spirit will guide you to expose the illusion that you may discern the difference between truth and fantasy. And I said this was feeling like fantasy. Okay, and moonlight is the challenge, and the moon does represent illusion. So are you creating a story in your head about somebody that's really going to leave you high and dry? When there are connections that are being given to you and being shown to you and whispering it to you to come take their hand, but you're sitting here sulking over what could have been, would have been, should have been, and isn't. It's not. But maybe it's just because you don't know it yet. And you're going to find out and discover a truth about the fantasy that you've created, Libra. And that can be extremely heartbreaking and disoriented. So let's see. Too much analyzing is getting you nowhere. Stop overthinking things. You may be exhausted from second guessing yourself all of the time and losing your footing. Are you insecure about your ability to make good choices? Step back and regroup and enter into a more trusting relationship with the flow of life. Don't become overly concerned about perceived mistakes. How will you learn to dance if you don't occasionally take a misstep? On the moonlit pathway, you can discover love and truth and wondrous things. There is nothing to fear but fear itself. Go play, have fun, stay open, and trust. And so what I'm feeling with all of these together is that you have an idea around how relationships should look or should be in your head, but it's almost like you're doing this dance in your head by yourself without allowing the other people who you're in relationship with to be a part of the equation, not taking into consideration what their needs are, not expressing your emotions to them when they may be feeling a dry desert from you because you're just all in your head. So it can be many, many things. So let's get into your reading. Career and finances. This is where some of the illusion is. Bottom of the deck is the Pombajita or female issue, and this is really you. This is the dance of manifestation that you're doing. You are in a very fantastical mood, romantic mood, which is actually really, really good for you, and it's comfortable because it allows you more creative freedom and expression. So it's good. There's just some things that also need to be taken into consideration, particularly around relationships and making sure that they have a firm foundation and that nobody who you love is feeling like this with their needs not met because you think everything is all good and gravy, but you aren't really seeing and taking into consideration how somebody else feels or vice versa. So in career, you got the 7 of Fire and the Moon. This is coming across as like an unexpected challenge. We have the full moon in Pisces, which is about fantasy, right? So this probably is kind of a disruption in any illusions you may have or any assumptions that you've made about a commitment for a job, for a career, any contracts. And so it's presenting now a challenge. Everything is work. When it comes down to it, things may come with ease and grace and flow and be like a natural skill to you, but you still have to, take care of the stuff. So Princess Swords with the Hermit at the bottom right now. So this could be some disagreements in how things are executed. This could be some challenge to what you feel like is your authority, having to take into consideration other people's perspectives. And also managing the emotions and the anxiety that comes with people challenging you. The Star card and the 8 of Cups. 3 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So the goal here this month with career and finances is to really manage your emotions and manage your anxiety and do whatever is necessary to keep you from popping off. If there are losses, loss of contracts or endings in certain sectors or projects, or you literally have to cut the cord to stop breaking your own heart, stop overworking yourself, like you have to say no to something, you just have to do it to protect your mental health, especially because in your emotional body, I'll just go ahead and go there, you have the enslaved prisoner. And this means that it feels like you're overwhelmed to the point of non-action, and that's not okay. Because you have things to do, you have work to do, but you don't have to do everything. Get help. You're trying to do everything by yourself. And you're not taking the time to refuel yourself through meaningful conversations, through support with the people who you love, relationships, sex, things that refuel you. We have the 8 of Wands here in the Salamanders. Death card, Nine of Pentacles, the Three of Cups, and the Eight of Wands. So this is more manifestation, and this is also, I feel like, really, really learning what interdependence feels like, finding that balance, finding the flow, and potentially a rebirth, especially with the salamanders here, which is about healing, a rebirth of a relationship after potentially some time of separation. With the Nine of Pentacles here, both of you guys like knowing who you are, knowing what you bring to the table, and being able to communicate what your tangible needs are, physical and emotional, and spiritual, to be honest. Your ancestors are playing a role in the emotional investment that's being made into you and encouraging you to make that same effort and that investment with people that are safe. So I'm feeling and hearing many different things, but this could be transforming the way you feel about polyamory with the Three of Cups here, but this could also be a revelation or an unveiling of information around a person that you're in partnership with and who they've also been in a relationship with that you may have not been aware of, and you choosing to now be single. This is also a real push for you to communicate how much somebody means to you, because and that's really, really healing. When you show up, like, you can't be like, oh, well, they should know how I feel, because you've been avoiding intimacy. And yeah, I do feel like there are a lot of like skeletons in the closet and secrets, things that haven't been shared, that you don't think that like love will cover a multitude of sins. Like, it's like there's some guilt potentially here as well around the lack of commitment. Knight of Discs, but that commitment, that willingness to go on that journey together is here. So if this is just friendship or any platonic relationships, I do think that this is about a healing or a transformation of the relationships, where there may have been codependency, a healing of that, because there's work to be done, or both of you guys know what your work is, and so there's transformation and better boundaries, or willingness to communicate what those boundaries are. Like, hey, I'm not available to talk from here to here, from this time to this time. Hey, like, I really want to devote this time to you, but I'm not available this other time. Or using the time that you do have more wisely so that you can make room for who you love. Because this is about devotion. This Knight of Discs, this is like Virgo energy, Capricorn energy, Taurus. It's all of it, but it's all about love and devotion and showing up. You got to show up for what you love. I'll get a little bit more on the emotional body and how you're feeling and why this enslaved prisoner is coming up. This is also the Hangman energy in traditional tarot, and coming right under this full moon, this moon card. The Pisces full moon may bring up a lot of discomfort for you. Six of Cups, Ace of Swords, Queen of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Could be with the Cancer, could be with the mother figure, but this is you kind of taking your power back from some childhood behaviors, some learned behaviors around your ability to communicate your feelings and what you need, what harmed you when you were a child, what needs you felt like didn't get met, or now communicating what you want out of this relationship, whether it's with a mother figure or with a feminine figure in your life, a Cancerian energy potentially. Underneath that is the art card, which is a card that is about like divine partners and divine lovers. And it's a really innocent connection. It's a soul connection that you're feeling kind of bound to, but not really feeling love in a liberatory way. Probably for all of the aforementioned reasons, like just feeling awkward about communicating your needs, not really showing up for the relationship in the ways that you want to, or them not showing up in the ways that you want to, and just really allowing for this rebirth of your ability to connect and experience intimacy, and just feeling really boxed in by the concept of it, not knowing if you want commitment, not knowing if you deserve love, not being able to clearly express it. It's a lot. But I do think the moon will help you to tap in deeper to those emotions in a way that doesn't leave you feeling uncomfortable and anxious. It makes you think about it more clearly. You have a Zapana Shapana or a Babalayue, I believe is how you say it in Yoruba, because this is the Spanish word for that energy. But this is about healing from the outside in. So you heal your mind, or heal or clear the mental energy, or the cloud that you have in your mind around expressing love, about feeling loved, through the expression. So you have to verbalize, have to put words to it to get it out, to clear the energy, to move it. And in your in the spirits, you got Elegua, which is mercurial energy, open doors, and prayers really answered by your ancestors, especially as it relates to relationships of all kinds, because that seems to be taking center stage for you right now. Yeah, you can really, really put yourself out of your misery if you get the thoughts that are in your head out on paper and then out to the person who you're desiring the communication from. And if you want to end a relationship, Virgo season is the time to do it, to make it clear, to purify your connections so that you can make room for what's really coming through. Three of Swords at the bottom, Ten of Swords, Virgo, and the moon. So this literally is that full moon. It may bring endings. It may put you out of your misery and free you up from emotional bondage, from connections that you thought were good for you that really weren't, because of that illusion and that fantasy. And that is kind of where things may be exposed, but to your good in the long run. So Libra, 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 Libra. That applies to so many things. Doesn't have to necessarily be romantic relationship. Could be around communities, friendships, especially because there was a lot of innocent energy and kind of like the trust that you had, or the belief and the faith that you had in somebody, really being revealed to be not what you thought it was. Okay, so if you need to book a personal reading, you can do that. You can sign up to join us at the retreat. One of our speakers, two of our speakers are Libras. So you can do that by putting retreat or clicking retreat in the menu. I love you. It's going to be okay. Whatever this is, it's just about clarity. It's just about purification. It's just about your ancestors being extremely devoted and committed to you and wanting you to have better boundaries and rebuilding a foundation for your life, so that those who get to go on the journey with you are really worthy of all that you bring to the table, because you're about to be manifesting a lot of goodness in your life. Okay, I love you.